Good morning, YouTube. It is Sunday, about 7:30 in the morning. It is, let's go check the calendar. Holy moly, March 4th. Alright, so gotten some questions on Instagram and some questions from people in our real life. Some of them watch the channel and are customers at my wife's job. I don't know if any of them have really commented, to be honest. Sometimes I don't even look at the comments or reply back to them. I just kind of weird like that. So today I'm going to answer 6 questions. First big question is will we see Mars in future videos? And the answer to that is probably. Once we get out on the road, and while we're traveling, we can use both of our phones, use our cameras to upload more footage. Right now we're just in the process of getting ready to get on the road, and she's working as much as she possibly can to save money. I'm mainly working on getting rid of stuff, downsizing, and getting the van ready to go on the road, and the truck, which the truck's ready. I just changed the brake, got the brakes done on it. Probably do one more oil change on it before we get on the road. Other than that, it's ready to go. Plus we have to get Trouble a harness, a collar, a harness and a muzzle, and we also got to get him a device that will let us strap him down. Basically a harness for the truck so he's not running around all over the place, because he's going to travel with Mars and she's going to follow me in the truck. Another question. Why van life? Well, it wasn't my intention to do van life, or our intention to do van life in the beginning. When I first started researching travel and got interested in it, I was still working at the restaurant where I was working. And I started looking at Peru and Costa Rica, because I was like, well, you know, we have some money coming to us. We could just move to another country where it's cheaper and retire early. So I researched a lot of countries. I researched Mexico, I researched Peru, Colombia, Chile, Ecuador. Looked at a lot of people that do YouTube that are expats, and what they basically moved to another country and they live there now. They're from America, or they're from Australia. And then me and my wife were talking, and we were like, well, we haven't really seen the United States yet. Let's go check that out first. Let's do that. So then I started researching RVs and schoolies, not even a van. And from my research on schoolies, I was like, well, crap, I got to have a lot of money to upkeep this thing. And RVs, the same thing too. And so I started looking at these Class B vans, and we had a pretty good argument over it, thinking it would be too small. First I started looking at the new ones, and I'm like, Jesus, some of these suckers are $120,000. What's the point, you know? So I started looking around. I saw on YouTube, I came across Camper Van Kevin when he still had his Class B, and started looking at those types of vans, and started looking on Craigslist, RVTrader.com, looked everywhere, and I searched for about 8 months, and I finally found one here in Kansas that was actually built here in Kansas by a company that's no longer around, called Honorbuilt. And I don't think they actually made a lot of Class B motorhomes. I know one other person on YouTube. He doesn't post very many videos, but he's helped me out in comments and stuff, been real supportive, which is Ford Van Man. I know he has a Dodge Honorbuilt Class B. So I found that, and there was no other vans in this part of the United States. I looked and looked and looked at the time. So I went ahead, I had the money, I talked the guy down from 11 grand to 10. Had 69,000 miles on it when I bought it. Has 70 now because we've gone to Kansas City and back and out to our friend's house in Conway Springs and South Kansas. And so I grabbed it, and I should have offered him probably about 8 at the max and tried to talk him down from 8, because it did, as in previous videos, the AC shroud was broken. I had to replace that, and the above cab sleeping compartment where we have, which is our storage, was dry rotted out. I had to replace that. Plus it had mold in there, and I had to freaking deal with the mold. So yeah, but it is what it is. It's a nice van, low miles for a 96. So it was kind of, we first started off looking at travel, and then it went down into, let's go around the United States first, but let's not do it like we were doing, which was just staying at hotels and paying $800 a week for a freaking hotel room. So that's why van life. How long will we be gone? Well, we're leaving the first week of April. I'm going to say we should be in the Denver area by April 3rd. Our tags are due at the end of August. And what I'm going to try to do is change our address to Marissa's mother and grandmother's house, the family house. We'll be back in August, at least. Who knows if we're going to go back out on the road. Why the travel plan change? Well, a friend of Marissa's and I, she has a daughter down in San Diego, and she wanted to ride along with us to go down to San Diego. So we were going to go down to California. Then she decided, no. She'd been saving money for a car and stuff like that, and she decided, you know, she just would put off the trip and go see her daughter some other time. So I was like, well, you know, I haven't seen my aunt and uncle since 2015 when we made that trip down there. You haven't seen your aunt, so we started talking, and we haven't really, when we went down to Florida and Georgia the last time, it was a 25-hour straight trip to Lakeland, Florida from Wichita, Kansas. We only stopped to get gas and eat for 1 hour, and that was it. We just straight, that's how we traveled, fast. And so we never got to see that much of the South, and we took the route where we didn't go through New Orleans or anything like that. So this time we're going to. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to head up from Wichita to Denver, and then we're going to go down through Colorado Springs, Pueblo, down into Telluride, Colorado, which is right on close to the border of New Mexico. Then we're going to go down into New Mexico, and then cross over, skipping Texas. We might go to Texas because I have family down there, and so does my wife. But the plan is to skip Texas, go along that upper panhandle part of Oklahoma, down into the middle of Oklahoma, into Arkansas. I have one of my best friends lives down in Arkansas. Visit with them for a while, camp out a little bit, make our way down to New Orleans. And from there, we're going to go up around the coast and sneak in through Florida, through the, you know, Tallahassee and everything, and Destin area, down into Lakewood, or Lakeland, Florida, which is basically in the middle of Orlando and Tampa. And from there, probably going to park the van at our aunt's and take the truck down into the Keys. And yeah, I know, Keys are expensive. I'm still looking at hotels and everything. So, and do the Keys just for a week, and then come back and get the van, and then make our way up into North Georgia, into the mountains where my aunt and uncle live, and then up into North and South Carolina. I have a cousin who lives there, who has 2 boys. I'd like to see the boys and her. And from there, we're going to look at how many months we have left, how much time we have left, because I'd really like to shoot on up to New York State and Maine. Let's see. Why a Class B? Well, I think I kind of already discussed that. What about after van life, if we decide to come back? Well, a lot of friends and family and people in our community, they've been wanting me to do a freaking food truck for a long, long time. We come back, I might do it. Or I might get a catering business going. We have a lot of friends in the restaurant industry. In fact, one of my best friends, his dad's a chef. He's a retired chef. My wife's dad is actually a retired chef too. I've been cooking for over 20 plus years. I cooked underneath my wife's dad. I cooked the 2 ladies that basically taught me how to cook years ago. And I don't want to say the restaurant's name, but these 2 old Lebanese ladies, I worked for them. I worked for their family for a long time. I worked for another family here in Wichita. We have a very tight-knit and large Lebanese community here. Let me just say that. That's my cooking background, is Mediterranean food and steaks. I worked at one of the oldest steakhouses here in Wichita. In fact, it's still open. And I'll give you a hint who it is. They're famous for Wichita's prime rib. So I worked there when I was young, like I was 20, and then I worked there again about 1.5 years ago for about 3 years. In fact, I was working there when I took a week off to go down to Florida and Georgia. So that'll be after van life if this doesn't work out. We don't like it. And come back, start a business. Money's there to do it. The thing about restaurants here in Wichita is we're kind of like the place where corporate restaurants go to test out their restaurants. And a restaurant here can make it or break it in 6 months. It's kind of a crapshoot. It's like playing poker. You never know. Favorite YouTubers, van life YouTubers? Well, I have one, that really, I talked to him back and forth through email, and he got me really interested in travel. And one of my things was to try to get the van down to Colombia, and we'd have to ship it from Panama to Colombia across the Durham Strait. But his name is Sam Miller. His channel is Life Afar. He's from Australia, and he's a motorbiker actually. He's a businessman. He came across Colombia from doing a bike trek all the way from, I believe it was Canada, all the way down through North America, Central America, and then he kind of fell in love with Colombia. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Van life YouTubers, I like Evie Nova and Jed. Evie Nova is her channel. Her name's Evie. Jed, his channel is Into the Mystery. I like Dave 2D. Guy's funny. Let's see. My wife really likes Duet Justice, and they're not a van life couple. They actually have a Class C, and they're from part of Missouri that my wife's family comes from. Here's a couple, they don't monetize. A couple of people, they don't monetize their channel. Dreaming Big BC. They're a couple about same age as me and my wife. Also, Wandering Dano. If you ever need any tips, ideas, he's pretty much shown it all on his YouTube over the years, and I don't think his YouTube's monetized either. He just does his YouTube just to kind of help people out. But I will warn you that if you don't like cats, he's a cat guy. He travels with 2 cats. I also like Angela M. And I came across her channel when I was doing I did a search on YouTube, boondocking spots in Colorado, and her channel came up. This was long before, you know, Eric and Nomadic Fanatic and all that stuff. And I'd actually been subscribed to her for, you know, probably about half a year. But she's a real funny lady. I think she's based out of Texas somewhere. And then another couple I like that they have a conversion bus. They haven't done any YouTube in almost a year. And you can go back and look at their channel. They're called The Wandering Idiots. And I believe they're out of Iowa or Idaho. But they had a short schoolie bus, plus they also had a van before that. But they're, you know, them and I want to say Just Incredible are the ones that I first started watching when I was like, okay, we'll do van life, blah, 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 and they came across my feed. I really do like Just Incredible. Even though he likes a lot of purple, he's pretty good. Pretty cool guy. Weird, but cool. So yeah. Those are the questions and answers. This freaking video is getting almost 17 minutes long, so hope everybody's doing great. I'm out.